so I and then I always take so I don't have a driver's license, by the way, for the people who don't know. But I always take Uber Comfort because it's like $2 more, $2 or $3 more, and you can have the selection of quiet preferred, which shows the driver that you don't want to talk. Because every time that I have driven in a normal Uber where the people like where I don't have this option, there have just been weird Uber drivers. It's always weird. It always gets weird. I always have the weirdest conversations with them, and I just can't do it, especially at 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm too tired. Haven't had my coffee yet. Like I don't want to talk. I haven't slept. So quiet preferred. All my Uber drivers are yappers. I know, but I'm not. I yap on stream, and that's fine. That's when I get all my yapping out, and then I'm good. Then I don't need to talk. But anyways, anyways, I go into the Uber and everything's fine for the longest time until we get on the the 405, like the big highway that's like in LA. Let me check Google Maps without doxing myself. I think it's the 405. Yes. So we get on the 405, which is like the big highway, like in LA. Like, it's the one that everyone takes everywhere to go to work. And traffic starts getting worse and worse. And at first I was like, okay, this is just normal LA morning traffic. Everyone's going to work. And then we come to a stand.
Nihachu,
and everyone is just standing. And we were standing there for like 30 minutes. And my Uber app, the time goes up an hour. And I was like, oh my god, I was already too late to my shoot. I'm gonna be way too late. They're gonna all be mad at me. I have guests that are waiting for me. I was like stressed. I was like, oh my god, this is the worst. And then before that I didn't have internet for at that point 24 hours. So the entire morning I spent the entire morning before I left. I woke up at 5. I woke up 5 that morning to try and fix my internet, and I didn't get it fixed because I was supposed to do the sponsor here yesterday. I didn't get it fixed. And so, by the way, these are all first world problems, but I just want to tell you, about the wild week I had. Anyways, I was stressed. And then to top it off, my Uber driver, he just starts talking to me. He goes, sorry you had to listen to all these dating podcasts today that I was listening to. And I was like, oh no, it's fine. I'm listening to my own music. I have headphones in. You're all good. And he's like, yeah, and it's just been so lonely recently. And I was like, yeah, no, LA can be really lonely. Dating in LA is really hard. And he's like, yeah. And then he basically starts talking to me for 15 minutes about how he wants to date me. And I was like, okay. And then after that, he was like, so do you have a boyfriend? Because he realized I wasn't really engaging in it because it was 7 a.m. and I was tired and I'm not gonna, he goes, do you have a boyfriend? And what I always tell them is, oh no, I have a girlfriend. Actually, she lives here, that's why I moved here. I have a girlfriend. And he's like, oh, she's really lucky. Do you have a sister? No, I have a brother, actually. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, oh, it's really early. Do you want to get some coffee? Do you want to stop at a 7-Eleven? We can get some coffee. And I was like, no, I have to go to work. I'm already too late to work. I have to go to work. And then, he, leaves the highway and we, take different roads, and I made it to the shoot. And everything was fine at the shoot. The shoot went really well. I can't spoil or anything, but it's so cute, so exciting. After the shoot, I take an Uber back. Again, quiet preferred. I would rather not talk. I just had an entire day of filming. The entire week I've been running on 4 hours of sleep. I just want to relax. I'm finally done with the day. Please. I step into the Uber. The Uber driver goes, oh, quiet preferred, huh? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, that's too bad. And starts talking to me. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Because the way I see it, whenever I step into an Uber, I'm already scared for my life. I'm comfortable around women. I'm not comfortable around men. And that is not even like a thing of like, I just, you know, I know it's not all men, but it is all women. So I'm scared. So I just entertain him. I'm like, yeah, just came back from work. He's like, what do you work as? And I always tell them I work in advertisement, because that's like, they're not going to ask any more questions about advertisement. And then, oh my god, Chad, if I tell you this, I thought I was in a movie. So then he goes, oh, where's your accent from? Where are you from? And I was like, oh, I'm from Germany. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, the German bloodline is like the most superior bloodline out there. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, like Germans and Austrians. And I was like, what? I was like, I was speechless. I was like, I couldn't believe my ears. And he just kept like yapping about it, like around it, like he just kept talking about it. And I was just there like first of all, I was also really nauseous. So I was like, the entire drive I was like, I'm gonna throw up. And this guy like telling me about like his white supremacism really did not help. I was just, I holy shit, like I was fearing for my life in both Uber drives. I was like, what the fuck? And then my third Uber drive of the day. Usually I don't take that many Ubers, but I had like a lot of things to do yesterday. My third Uber drive of the day. I was going to a friend's house after I like fixed my internet and everything. I just lost my earplug thing. I was going to a friend's house. Where the fuck? Okay, whatever. I'll find it later. I was going to a friend's house after fixing my internet, and I go into the Uber, and the traffic was still really bad. So what ended up happening, apparently there was a shooting on the 405, and like a bunch of crashes. One of our crew members got into a car crash. So yeah, there was like a bunch of things. And then I got a bunch of Discord messages. Okay, everything's good. I get into the Uber, and the Uber driver sees like, oh, it's like really long, like the time is like really long. So they find like different ways to drive. The problem was my Uber driver was driving like he was in GTA 5, like fucking swirling in the lanes and like accelerating when he shouldn't have, and like braking like really closely to other cars. There were many times where there was another car like almost crashing into us, and it would have been the Uber driver's fault. I thought I was gonna die. I messaged my friends. I literally, like, I was so scared for my life. I messaged my friends, and I was like, if I die on this Uber drive, please make sure that my cats are okay. That was the only thing I wanted. I'm sure I don't know if I can show you the message, but I was like, if I am scared for my life right now, if I die, please, if I get into a car crash, please make sure that my cats are okay. Where is it? Yeah, I said, also, I'm scared for my life in this Uber. If I die, please make sure my cats are okay. That's what I said, because I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die in this Uber drive. There's so many times where this Uber driver has almost crashed into other cars. So yeah. And then my friend drove me home because I was too scared to get into another Uber yesterday, because that was a wild series of events. That was probably the craziest Ubers I've had in a while. And that is why I always do quiet preferred, because I don't want to talk about white supremacism. Frankly, I don't agree. And if I'm gonna tell you that I don't agree, then I'm gonna be scared for my life, because I don't know what you are capable of doing, and I'm all alone in this Uber. So yeah, yesterday was a day. Probably fate telling you it's time to leave Uber. Probably fate telling me it's time to get a driver's license. I think this is my sign. I think these 3 Uber drives yesterday are my sign that I need to— oh, I actually need to turn off the music. That I need to get a driver's license. Because, oh my god, I cannot believe that happened.